Hello and welcome. In today's tutorial, we are going to solve these two simultaneous log equations step by step. To begin, let us look at this quantity, that is log to base 9 of x. Applying the change of base formula for logarithms to this quantity, we can write this as log x divided by log 9. These two things are exactly the same. The only difference is that while this is in base 9, this is in base 10. Now, the next thing we do is to divide both the numerator and the denominator of this fraction by the same quantity, which is log x. Because you know that when we divide the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same quantity, we haven't changed that fraction in any way. So we have log x divided by log x over log 9 divided by log x. Now log x divided by log x is 1. We can rewrite this denominator as log to base x of 9. Now remember that we started with log to base 9 of x. But now we have ended at 1 over log to base x of 9. So we can generalize this by saying that if we have log to base a of b, that it must be equal to 1 over log to base b of a. And this is a relationship that is going to be very important for us in solving these two equations. Because when you look, you can see that we have log to base 9 of x. And here we have log to base x of 9. Here we have log to base y of 8. And here we have log to base 8 of y. So that simply means that, for instance, if we decide to call this a and to call this b, then this is going to be 1 over a and this is going to be 1 over b. So we can rewrite these two equations as a plus b is equal to 2 and 1 over a plus 1 over b is equal to 8 over 3. Now we can solve these two equations for values of a and b. And then after we do that, we will now go back to these substitutions and get values for x and y. Now to solve these two equations, let us start with the second equation. We can combine these two fractions into one single unit. How do we do that? A times 1 is a. We have plus b times 1 is b. A times b is a b, and this is equal to 8 over 3. Now the next thing we do is to cross multiply. So we have that 3 times a plus b is equal to 8 times ab. But let us come to the first equation. We have that a plus b is equal to 2. So this is equal to 2. And then from the first equation also, we have that a is equal to 2 minus b. So here where we have a, we can replace it with 2 minus b. So basically what we have is that 3 times 2, which is 6, is equal to 8 into a is now 2 minus b, and we have b. The next thing we do is, this is an even number and this is also an even number, so we can divide both sides of the equation by 2. So we have this over 2 and this over 2. Here we have 3 and here we have 4 into, let us open this bracket, 2 times b is 2b minus b times b is b squared. So we have that 3 is equal to 4 times 2b is 8b, and 4 times b squared is 4b squared. Rearranging this equation, we have that we can bring all the terms over to the left-hand side, and when we do that, we have that 4b squared minus 8b plus 3 is equal to 0. So now we have a quadratic equation in b which we can solve for values of b. And we can factorize this equation. How do we do that? We simply multiply this term by this term. 3 times 4b squared is going to give us 12b squared. Now we ask ourselves the question, what are the factors of 12b squared that will add up to minus 8b? And of course, those will be minus 6b and minus 2b. Because minus 6b multiplied by minus 2b is going to give us plus 12b squared, while minus 6b added to minus 2b is going to give us minus 8b. So the next thing we do is to replace this quantity in this equation with these two quantities. And when we do that, we have 4b squared minus 2b minus 6b plus 3 is equal to 0. We can divide these two by 2b. So we have 2b. 4b squared divided by 2b is 2b. Minus 2b divided by 2b is minus 1. We can divide these two by minus 3. Minus 6b divided by minus 3 is going to give us 2b. And plus 3 divided by minus 3 is going to give us minus 1. And this is equal to 0. Now we collect the factors. We have 2b minus 3 multiplied by 2b minus 1 is equal to 0. From here, we have that either 2b minus 3 is equal to 0 or 2b minus 1 is equal to 0. From this equation, we have that 2b is equal to 3 and b is equal to 3 over 2. Or from this, we have that 2b is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1 over 2. So now we have two values for b, 3 over 2 and 1 over 2. And of course, we go back to the first equation, that is a plus b is equal to 2. From this equation, we can get values for a. Because of course, we know that a is equal to 2 minus b. So, when b is equal to 3 over 2, a is equal to 2 minus 3 over 2, which is equal to half. And when b is equal to half, a is equal to 2 minus half, which is equal to 3 over 2. So we have that the 2 points that satisfy these two equations are a, b, when a is half, b is 3 over 2. And the second point, a, b, when a is 3 over 2, b is half. Now, having found the values for a and b, the last thing we do is to go back to the substitutions that we made. So to calculate the values of x and y from these values of a and b, we go back to this substitution. And we have that log to base 9 of x is equal to a. Now, when a is half, log to base 9 of x is equal to half. Of course, when we have a statement like this, it simply means that 9 to the power half is equal to x. That is, 9 to the power half is equal to x. And of course, writing this in radical form, we have that x is equal to square root of 9. And since we are dealing with logarithms, we only take the positive square root. So this is equal to 3. So here we have that x is equal to 3. To calculate the value of y, we have that log to base y of 8 is equal to b. So when b is 3 over 2, log to base y of 8 is equal to 3 over 2. Once more, this simply means that y to the power 3 over 2 is equal to 8. That is, y to the power 3 over 2 is equal to 8. Now the question is, how are we going to calculate y from this equation? What do we do to make the exponent of y 1? Remember that when we have a raised to power m raised to power n, that this is equal to a raised to power m multiplied by n. So basically the question is, what are we going to multiply 3 over 2 by to get 1? And of course, that is the reciprocal of 3 over 2, because we know that 3 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 3, which is the reciprocal of this, is equal to 1. So what we are going to do is that we are going to raise both sides of this equation to power 2 over 3. So this is what we have. We have y raised to power 3 over 2 raised to power 2 over 3 is equal to 8 raised to power 2 over 3. On the left hand side, this will multiply to give us 1. And writing this in radical form is simply the cube root of 8 all squared. And we know that the cube root of 8 is 2 squared, and 2 squared is 4. So here we have that y is equal to 4. Now we do the same thing for the second point. Once more, to calculate the value of x from this value of a, we go back to this substitution. So we have log to base 9 of x is equal to a. Log to base 9 of x is equal to 3 over 2. And of course, from here we have that 9 to the power 3 over 2 is equal to x. Writing this in radical form, we have that x is equal to the square root of 9 cubed. Now the square root of 9 is 3. And 3 raised to power 3 is equal to 27. So here we have that the value of x when a is 3 over 2 is 27. We go on to calculate the value of y from this equation. So we have that log to base y of 8 is equal to b. And in this case, b is equal to half. So we have that log to base y of 8 is equal to half. Once more, this simply means that y to the power 1 over 2 is equal to 8. Now, we ask ourselves the question again, to what power do we raise both sides of this equation so that the left-hand side, which is y, becomes 1? Of course, that is 2, because you know that 2 times half is 1. So we have that y to the power half squared is equal to 8 squared. And from here, we have that y is equal to 8 squared is 64. We have that this value of y is equal to 64. So we have that the 2 points that satisfy these two equations simultaneously are x equal to 3 and y equal to 4, and x equal to 27 and y equal to 64. And with that, we come to the end of today's exercise. It was a rather long one, but I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you enjoy such content. Leave us a thumbs up to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.